Hi, thank you so much for tuning in today. Welcome to another edition of How to Sing That Song. Well, today I'm doing another song out of a musical theater show, Memory, out of Cats. Now, it's another Lloyd song, but it's awesome just because it's so full of emotion, but it's also very difficult because it goes so low and it goes high. And it needs to be pretty much sung in chest voice, not in head voice. So let's get into it. Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone. So up to here. So what needs to happen here, it starts pretty high. It starts on a B flat for the normal average woman key here. But it needs to be very clean and very clear. This whole song needs to be sung very cleanly and clearly. So it's hard. So you do have a whole measure to prepare in the beginning. So that's great. So while this is going on here, breathe. So breathe in a way where it's really slowly and deeply. And then use that midnight. So that's hard. It's got meh. So not the easiest of, like, first of all, a nasal sound, and then we got the e, like ma would have been a little bit easier maybe, but just try to think about your support from the beginning, from the first second, really, and think of this continuous support. It's so important, not even when you have a break here or a rest, never let it down. It's this continuous support. It needs to be very legato, very connected together, everything. And then it doesn't need to be, for it to be more emotional, it has to really have a lot of voice colors in there. So it starts midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? So do you notice how I get a little bit more softer and a little bit breathy? It's not extremely breathy, but it's just a little bit more relaxed. But at the same time, it is not the least bit relaxed here in my support. This is so dense all the time. It's like the air column that's down here feels so dense to me. She is smiling alone. Always take your time. In the lamplight, the withered leaves collect at my feet. Again here, the top note, always grow. The withered leaves collect at my feet. Crescendo. Get a little louder, not suddenly. Very legato, very fluent. It needs to be a very flowing motion here. And the wind begins to moan. Again here, that low, especially after coming off these kind of high pitches there, right from the beginning. So very relaxed. And the wind begins to moan. And don't forget to never suddenly get louder or softer. Very, very connected. So, and then comes the second verse, which is sung just pretty much similar to the first one, except you want to always pay attention to what the words actually mean. So that's going to determine on which spots you're going to be a little bit more present with your voice, and the vocal cords close more, which means that you have more twang and more sound and more volume, and those places where you have a little bit more breathiness. So whenever you are kind of, the old cat is looking back at life and just like, oh, okay, back then, did you know when I was still young, all this, just the memory of this all. So it's kind of like, kind of regretting that the time is over. So this reminiscence here, it needs to really, and this little bit of pain needs to come through every once in a while. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. So, and then it goes on into a little bit, it says here poco più mosso, which means a little bit more moving, and that's pretty low. So it needs to be kind of this, a little bit more serious here. Every street lamp seems to beat. And beat, really bring out that beat. You know, it beats. Dung, dung, dung. It beats. A fatalistic warning. So whenever it goes into this area where it's very singable again, try to make your voice really shine again. But the low ones, you know, don't dig in, but here don't be too breathy. Every street lamp. Very low for me too. So on, and then it goes on. Someone mutters and the street lamp gutters. You see how I just don't, I connect the phrases very much. It's someone mutters and the street lamp gutters. And then I would breathe right there, but just don't go someone mutters and the street lamp gutters. It's too even. It needs to be a little bit more back and forth in volume. And then it really grows, because then it goes up. And soon it will be morning. Take it back, rallentando, it says here. So while you are connecting this to the next phrase, you already need to think of the next thought. Be morning. Again, use the to get up there, to get this really great, nice, bright, clean color up there. Rallentando here, which means it gets a little bit slower to connect to the next phrase. And there it says tempo 1, which means like the beginning. So this next bit here is pretty much like the beginning. And again, you know, do whatever the words say. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. Okay, it's nighttime and he's waiting for the sun to rise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. Okay, no use in hanging on the past. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too. Memory too. See how the voice color changes. And a new day will begin. And then comes this. And so on, this instrumental bit. And then it goes on. Burned out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning. And then it goes down. The street lamp dies, another night is over. Another day is dawning. And then it goes way up to touch me. So what you need to do here, it goes from the E flat to the D flat. So that's a pretty, the long jump up there. So really, really make that dawning long, but give yourself enough time to really breathe before the touch me. Again here, all the time. Connect everything together and it's like waves. Night is over, another day is dawning. And it goes on. Touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the dawson. So touch me, again, it's on the E, and leave me. It's not the easiest vowel to sing on, but make sure you don't get too narrow. Don't think E, think E. And make sure you have your throat open while you sing that E and support like crazy, really. And when you do have a chance to breathe deeply. Open your throat. Don't go really, really open up back there so the air gets in quickly. And it's meno mosso here, which means less moving. It gets a little bit slower here. So you have to hold those high pitches here even longer. So very good breath and support. Of my days in the sun, if you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. And then look, a new day. I would breathe after look, because otherwise it's like look, a new day. It's like look, a new day. It's like look, a new day has begun. So it's more look, a new day has begun. And so on and so on. And it's the outro here. So what's really important is here between these high and low pitches, there needs to always be a very strong connection. So don't disconnect it. It needs to be in waves. It's like when I'm telling a story. It's not like I'm telling a story. And it's very like this. It's very fluent. Burnt out ends of smoky days. The stale old smell of morning. The street lamp dies. Another night is over. Another day is dawning. So you could practice that just speaking it through. So these are the essential points here. It's a long song, so I'm trying to make this a little bit short so it doesn't get too long. I hope I could help you with these tips. Sing the song. It's awesome and it's a great training for singing clear and clean. Don't forget to check back on Thursday for another Q&A session and also on Friday for another Freya's singing tips. Subscribe to my channel. I would love that. Have a wonderful day and don't forget, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. Bye.